The purpose of this presentation is to discuss the implications of the emergence of AI in higher education, which is kind of like telling someone how a cake tastes while it's still in the oven. There's a strong smell from which flavors may be detected, but fully knowing without tasting is impossible. Research is nascent on the use of several more specific types of AI, generative AI specifically, as it may be incorporated in the routine pedagogy of college classes and where gaps in its application and potential are evident. In light of my first analogy, I'd like to make this a presentation of metaphors, perhaps despite AI tools whose rules are consensus and efficiency, but which also lacks the ability to read tone and figurative speech. There is consensus among college IT leaders that AI will be part of our future, but what is unclear is exactly how that future will look. More specifically, it's unknown what will be the ultimate result of increasing reliance on AI, specifically generative AI in the higher education complex. We're going somewhere, we're just not sure where. Practitioners are promised increased ability, agility, and accomplishment. While these remain promises and not proven results, there are consistent themes in discussion among IT leaders, the shared hopes and concerns for our educational institutions. According to the article, How Will AI Influence Higher Education in 2025, posted on Inside Higher Ed's blog, AI may play a key role in increasing equity, diminishing bias, and improving or has the potential to improve learning experiences, especially for technical, multimodal, and collaborative projects. The experts promise that human contact will be enhanced, not diminished, by intentional integration of AI. In my opinion, as far as pedagogy and human-to-human interaction, AI is being recruited to solve the very issues it complicates by its adoption. Where I think AI may have the most well-defined and useful application is on an operational level. Data collection and organization as enabled through AI will hugely diminish waste within college systems, improving processes within the operation of the institution. However, with operational applications of AI come security concerns. Assuredly, the use of AI has the potential to expose sensitive information due to the sheer amount and length of data collection involved in its use. So institutions will need to prioritize data security. Data governance is not a small issue and will be increasingly relevant for institutions' operational considerations, as well as for maintaining the trust of constituents. Did you know we're in a race? They say, they also say there is the looming threat of being left behind. What concerns me is who or what forces are compelling the AI movement at its current rate and intensity. Just because we can do something, should we? Just because AI is there, should we use it? If this question sounds absurd, maybe it's because of the interfering voice of incessant, powerful private interests. Educational leaders may hint generally at the workforce as the source of the pace of emergent AI technologies, but with the social pressure being applied, the source must be more precise. As stated by Michael Matthews, VP for Innovation and Technology at Oral Roberts University in the article, 3 Areas Where AI Will Impact Higher Education, corporations see an opportunity to profit from the development and sale of AI tools by incorporating its use in every facet of pedagogy, towards which trillions have already been invested. The developers who start early will be the, quote, runaway winners. Corporate interests represent a tipping point for the emergence of AI technologies. The discussion exemplified by these comments raises the specter of whose interests are being served by the adoption of AI in our educational institutions. Yes, educational institutions are responding to workforce demands, but are the demands placed on students as present and future consumers only, or as participants and leaders? And at what personal and professional cost? In the end, are institutions willing to remain relevant at the expense of their prior commitments to their own founding principles and members? Something to consider. AI is already here. Students as consumers as well as learners use AI in multiple facets of their lives. The logical conclusion is to adjust pedagogical and operational design to reflect the reality of AI, culturally, socially, and intellectually. To argue the point from a negative perspective, there is a cost to AI illiteracy. In artificial intelligence policies, guidelines, and considerations, the claim is made that ignoring the reality of generative AI will prevent instructors from investigating possibilities and implications for AI use in learning. For example, instructors should make themselves aware of results generative AI produces from their own assignment prompts by entering those prompts into large language models. Without first-hand knowledge of what students are exposed to and the choices they have to make, instructors limit their ability to guide students in the judicious use of AI. A more productive instructional strategy might be to guide students through a scaffolded assignment that requires them to recursively submit writing prompts and evaluate the changing results given by LLMs. They may then augment or correct the large language model using higher order evaluation and analytical skills. Those who want to ignore the issue of AI use may be taken advantage of and leave students vulnerable through willing ignorance. Those who do not come to terms with AI's adoption will be left behind, considered and eventually becoming non-competitive and irrelevant. The sooner colleges adopt responsible AI use policies and cultures, the better situated they are for future competitiveness. There is much to lose by doing nothing. There is a concern in the discussion of AI adoption in academic pedagogy that has been overlooked because of the rapid pace of its emergence. The corrosive effect of over-reliance on LLMs on cognitive and metacognitive practices among students. And that LLM stands for large language models. Although there are few studies on generative AI and probably none that reveal the long-term impact of the use of generative AI within pedagogy, educational culture is long on its benefits, the main arguments being that AI can assist with reducing time spent on mundane tasks while enhancing collaboration and critical thinking. AI is heralded as both transformative and disruptive to traditional models of learning. The study, Pedagogical Applications of Generative AI in Higher Education, a systematic review of the field, reveals that the use of ChatGPT is still primarily tied to text-based and technological courses, and its potential for collaboration has not been explored. The result is an overdependence on large language models for generation of traditional essays and written responses that leave students cognitively underdeveloped. The solution may be to structure assignments to guide students' use of AI, working with AI as a partner in collaborative efforts. AI literacy must be taught to students, and they must be trained to recognize ways in which AI may be inaccurate, biased, and based on unfounded consensus. There are other ethical considerations, including compromised text. Some other things AI cannot do: create, understand, and or communicate tone. For example, AI responses may be corrupted by, quote, prompt word attacks, nonsense prompts that confuse it. Training students in AI literacy will improve their ability to elicit reliable results while increasing their ability to judge the results they receive. Colleges are not currently prepared for the ethical and pedagogical implications of systemic AI use. This week, we were given two examples of how universities have responded to the need to guide students' use of AI in a way that upholds academic integrity, both of one's own trustworthiness and of the learning process. And these resulted in AI policies crafted either by instructors or by the institution. Duke University advises instructors to draft a clear and well thought out AI use policy that makes sense for their particular discipline. Instructors take ownership for their policies and include them in a syllabus. A well-drafted policy shares the rationale of the policy, why it works for the class, and supports AI literacy, the awareness that AI is not objectively correct, but represents a compilation of sourced information on a topic, and sources vary in availability and reliability. Finally, instructors define acceptable AI use ranging from no use to use with appropriate citations or other indicators of transparency. I like the stand that Harvard Graduate School of Education, HGSE, takes. This school's AI policy has the feel of administrative approval, where important decisions are not left to individual teachers to piecemeal. The school clearly defines acceptable use and why use of AI should be judicious. The philosophy of what defines a value-worthy education is communicated, along with descriptions of varying levels of AI use and which types of tools may be used and in what context. Impermissible use is clear. Delgado takes after Duke University in that professors are given a set of standard AI policies to select from, and then adjust the policy's wording according to their preferences, with varying degrees of restriction and regulation. This strikes me as a somewhat hands-off and unorganized way of handling AI use, since AI use is systemic. Also, philosophically and practically, instructors need the backing of the institution to uphold standards that safeguard academic integrity. I hope for greater involvement of the Chancellor's Chief Information Officer and Cabinet in guiding and supporting responsible AI use on campus. The creation of additional job positions and cross-departmental collaboration may make this leadership a reality. And this leadership is imperative for students' learning and their ability to adapt to challenges of the new social landscape. In conclusion, the implications of AI are unknown but very real. Institutions must invest in strong leaders who create a culture of responsibility and ethics. Since AI is part of our world, we must create a system of ethics surrounding its use, and this is done most powerfully through culture. I recommend that institutions hire high-level IT leaders who work directly with the highest officer at the school and also with leaders in academic affairs, write institutional statements of acceptable AI use, so policies, not leaving these decisions to instructors to piecemeal, create a culture of ethics concerning AI use, redesign courses to minimize policing of generative AI use, instead make assignments naturally collaborative, native to intended fields of study, scaffolded and recursive, use multimodal assignments so that students express understanding using multiple means, encourage membership in professional organizations, think tanks, and consortiums to refine thinking on AI use, train and encourage instructors in their use of AI, emphasize AI literacy as part of pedagogy and institutional culture. I would love to hear your thoughts on this controversial topic and whether you perceive AI use as more disruptive or more transformative for our educational future. Thank you.